Hello Year 7 and welcome to today's lesson. First thing I'd like you to do is a little bit of maths. I'd like you to grab your pencil case and do some calculations. Take everything out of your pencil case. It's all worth some money and the prices are listed here on the slide. Can you work out how much your pencil case is worth? Right, well, you might say, why on earth has Miss asked me to do some maths? It's a history lesson. Well, that's because what you've just done is a little survey, a survey of your wealth. And today we're going to look at the most famous, most important survey in history. That's called the Domesday Book. Now, the Domesday Book is a big survey that William the Conqueror had made in 1086, a few years after the Battle of Hastings, to help him keep control of England. So, watch this little clip to learn about the survey and take some notes in your book. Look for these 3 questions. Why did William want the survey? How did people react to it? And how did William go about creating the survey? So the Domesday Book was a survey of all of the wealth of England. And it's an amazing historical record because it gives us a list of exactly what each village, town, hamlet in England owned. How many sheep, how many pigs, what farm equipment they had, who owned what. It gives us a really good insight into exactly what England looked like so shortly after the Norman conquest. Now, obviously, William didn't make this survey thinking, it's going to be really useful for historians in 1,000 years' time to use this to see what it was like. That's not the reason he carried out the survey. Instead, he made the Domesday Book so that he could control England. Because remember, William was a foreign invader. He was French, he was Norman, he was a different culture, a different language. And he was struggling to hold on to England now that he had won the Battle of Hastings. So, let's delve a little bit further into why he made this Domesday Book, this great survey. First thing I'd like you to do is to turn an A4 piece of paper into a little 4-quadrant grid, like you can see in the left-hand corner here. In the top left corner, put reasons why William carried out a survey of England, and then give each other quadrant a subtitle, reason 1, 2, and 3. Now, read the information on the next few slides and pop that into your quadrant. So one reason William made the Domesday Book was that the information would help him discover how much the people of England could afford to pay in tax. Now, we all have to pay taxes, and we use them to run the government. Today, we spend that money on things like the NHS and schools. But William would have spent it on an army to control England, to put down any rebellions, and to keep everybody loyal to him. The second reason he made the Domesday Book was to get information about the distribution of the population, which would help William plan the defence of England against possible invaders. Now remember, William knows that England has been invaded by Harald Hardrada himself, so one of his important missions is to keep England safe and secure from foreign invasion. The third reason William made the Domesday Book was there was a great deal of doubt about who owned some of the land in England, because there had been a massive transfer of land as William introduced the feudal system. Land was taken away from the Anglo-Saxon lords and given to the French, to the Norman knights who came over with him. William planned to use the information he learned to help him make the right judgments when people were in dispute over land ownership. Now, once all the information had been collected, it was sent to Winchester, where it was recorded in a big book. That's why we call it the Domesday Book. Now, Doomsday means Day of Judgment, and everyone in England felt like they were being judged by these surveyors, so it became known as the Domesday Book. Amazingly, given that this was going out across England at a time where we didn't have planes and cars, this survey was completed in only 7 months. And once it was, he arranged a meeting in Salisbury where all the main landowners had to swear an oath of allegiance to their king. So your main task for today is to use the information sheet and source C from the source sheet to answer these 8 questions here. Please could you write out the question and answer it below. Finally, think about how we would do a great survey of wealth in 2020. What kind of questions would we ask? We wouldn't be asking about the number of pigs and chickens people own anymore. So what would we be asking to work out the wealth of England today? See if you can come up with at least 8 questions to work out the wealth of a modern population.